Thank you for joining me, Yogg. So we've got your first LIHL cast. Very exciting. I'm honoured that you chose to join my channel for the cast.
I mean, it's gonna make it so much easier to be by your side, with you with so much experience, my little mess ups will not be as seen, I
No,
guess.
no, 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 no. Never mess up. Only priestess. Win games.
But yeah, I'm looking really forward to casting this game. I think it's two exciting teams that we have facing each other
Oh, definitely, yeah.
with rather two different playstyles, I would say.
Really different. Really different. Have you got the playstyle graph in front of you?
Yes, I have it on my one of my screens. It's fully open, so it's well visible. We can
Yeah.
discuss it. I don't know what are you on right now with your view for this.
So I'm looking at the slide as well. So the game today, guys, everyone joining us in the stream, we have the French players, SSP and Seraphin, as the Maginot lines repaired. Nice little historic reference there. And we have Ashton and Aviator as 50% all in. So this is going to be a really good match, I think. SSP and Seraphin, they were both quarterfinalists in last year's LIHL, and Ashton and Aviator, obviously the rank 1 and 2 players on the ladder right now. So that team, 50% all in, definitely one to watch. Like, very, very talented players.
And I think we have two different playstyles represented here. I feel like the Maginot Lines Repaired is a very, I would say, safe playing comparing to all in 50%. And more rounded players. I mean, kind of maybe overbuilding sometimes, playing safe, while we have all in 50% greeding really hard.
Yeah.
And relying heavily on income, I would say.
Well, Ashton for sure is like a massive income player. Like, he's known for it, right? He's the greediest, hardest pushing, biggest snowballing player in the whole game, and it clearly pays off for him because he's like always rank 1 or definitely at the top of the ladder every season. Aviator's still fantastic at pushing, plays a little bit safer than Ashton, I would say. Doesn't quite go like all the way in, which might be where the team name comes from, 50% all in. But I mean, both of them just fantastic players. So I think the French team are really going to have their work cut out for them today.
I think so too. Honestly, even though I think all in 50% is heavily favored, my bet is that this matchup is going to be 1-1. Because being super greedy can really bite you back hard. If they don't manage to get leaks on the Maginot Lines repaired, then I don't know, the Maginot Lines repaired could still snowball from the fact that that all in 50% over greeded. Like some leaks coming from all in 50%, and then the French team is going to be able to to snowball back into the game.
Well, I actually just played a couple of games on the ladder against the French team, and I lost both. So they're playing pretty damn well together as a duo. I think these guys, they actually play better together than they do when they're on their own, if that makes sense. So whereas Ashton and Aviator are just monsters like solo playing on the ladder, SSP and Seraphin, they're greater than the sum of their parts. Like, they're good players, don't get me wrong, but when they're together, they turn into something special.
Right, agreed. Unfortunately, I didn't have much opportunity to play versus Ashton and Aviator together. I played separately versus them, like with Aviator Vidderson or Ashton with random mates. But I'm also curious to see how their cooperation is going to look like. Are they both going to be greeting? Is Aviator going to play a little safer to cover Ashton's leaks? I played against Ashton yesterday, and he leaked 3 ways, like 100% or 120%, and yet he was still super well into the game. So I'm curious if they're going to be both greeting, or is Aviator going to be covering Ashton? I'm really not sure how this is going to be working out. I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I think Aviator is one of those like mastermind kind of players, He doesn't necessarily go full snowball like Ashton does, but he's just very, very good at calling the shots. Like, he knows what waves he needs to build for. He can feel the sends coming from his enemies, and he knows what waves he needs to send back to get the most bang for his buck with his Mythium, right? And you can see there, like, he never saves. He's got the very low tactician. His breaker's not particularly high either. That's because he just sends income mercenaries early, but he will skip a couple of waves, which Ashton doesn't really do. And then he'll kind of try and force a late game where he's just an absolute monster in the late.
Totally agreed. Also, it's not really game relevant, but behavior score. We have two good boys, SSP and Aviator, really high behavior score, and then we have two bad boys, Ashton and Seraphin. Behavior score doesn't matter much, right? But like,
Well, Ashton's behaviour score is because he always gets disconnected from games, so he gets he tanks some penalty from that. Seraphin's just a toxic little boy.
Right, I forgot about that. That disconnect penalty gives you a little bit behavior score lowered. True. I thought maybe both of them rage a little bit at their teammates or something, but
yeah.
I guess not the case for Ashton.
Yeah. But this is it's gonna be a really good game. Like, very talented players on both teams. I think I give the edge to 50% all in just because, well, they're like 300 elo ahead of the French players. But like I say, SSP and Seraphin play really well together, so it can definitely go either way.
Like, I'm predicting 1-1 because I think there is a chance that Ashton and Aviator overgreed and they, it bites them back. But at the same time, I still think all in 50% is a little bit favored in this matchup. So I would say like 65% to 35% on all in 50%.
That's a lot of percentages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically saying, there's a higher chance that it's going to be 2-0 for all in 50%. 2-0 for the French team would be a surprise, I would say, like this.
Yeah, for sure.
But since the French team plays so well together, I could totally see 1-1 here.
Apparently I've got some mic problems. Let me try and have a go at that.
Wait, let me check. Is this stream already on? Right, it is.
Yeah. Widder says my mic's crackling when I try to talk. Hold on. Oh, hopefully it works. Hopefully it's not too bad. Do you hear me okay?
Yeah. For me, you sound perfect. Like 0 issue.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure if my volume is gonna be all right because I was kind of moving my mic, away and closer. So maybe I'm too loud or too quiet. But if the chat could let me know when they hear it, it would be great.
Yeah, I'm just going to play with some settings. If you want to keep talking about the teams, feel free. I'm just going to look at my mic settings quickly.
All right. Well, looking at the favorite roles, Ashton is really heavy on works and serpents and gate guard. So I guess gate guard is your common strength with Ashton. Aviator likes his eggs, it seems. Like he always picks an egg whenever he has the opportunity to play it, it seems, in his role. So it looks like Aviator is more late game oriented, I would say, because eggs feel like more like a late game thing, to me at least, to get them rolling in the mid game, and then late game you're just unbreakable pretty much if you get a couple of them. Ashton is much more heavily towards the early game oriented, I would say, according to his favorite roles. Looking at the French team, I would say it's kind of balanced. Seraphin may be a little bit more late game oriented, although hard to say because SSP is also like having the Halo antler in his roles. Openers, a lot of actually 3 of these guys love to open with bounty hunters, so I think we're gonna see some bounty hunter action in one of these games at least. Well, game is actually starting now, so...
Excellent. Right, let me close down the slides then. Right, hopefully the mic settings work. I've just got to trust that it's going to work now, I guess. Guys, welcome to this LIHL game. We have 50% all in, which is Ashton and Aviator, versus Maginot Lines Repaired, which is SSP and Seraphin. With me, I have the beautiful and everybody's favourite Late Night Legion streamer. Welcome, Yogg.
Thank you, Penny. Great to be here with you. Let's get this cast on this amazing game going.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Let's take a look at the roles. All of them have a banana bank in their options to pick. 3 nightmares as well. Only Seraphin doesn't have a nightmare to pick, in theory. Let's see what they go for, honestly. Quite a few nice rolls, I would say.
And interesting, if you look at the spells, is that there is only defensive spells in this game. There's Loan, there's Venture. Well, I guess Venture's economy, not defense. And there's Hero, but there's no big offensive spell, right? So as long as you're not expecting a massive send on 11 or 12, Venture looks like a very good play. Hero is always a solid choice. And Loan is kind of great as a panic, but I don't really see anyone taking Loan in this game because there's no offensive spell that you'd need to take it against.
Right. I'm expecting income sense on 11, basically. Like, don't send on 10, everybody sends income on 11, and, doesn't allow Venture for the other team. But who knows? Maybe it will be a little bit different. Maybe somebody's super weak on 10 and they decide to try to use it against him, but hard to tell for now.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a quick look at the openings. We've got Green Devil for Seraphin in lane 1. Very solid opener. Slightly weaker now than it was before, so it's like pretty easy to leak on 2. But still a very solid opener. Seraphin with the Windhawk and the Necromata. Pretty standard. Ashton with his Nightmare. Of course, they both send the King Ups. And a Gate Guard on Aviator, so I think I know who's winning this game.
Yep, you're loving this, don't
Gate
you?
Guard, best guard, dude.
It's beautiful, beautiful. But regarding Green Devil, I still think it's a really viable start.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's still definitely viable. He pushes 5 workers now, both SSP and Seraphin on 5. Ashton staying... Well, he has to stay 4 until Wave 2 starts. And Aviator also decides to stay on 4 workers with the Gate Guard, which I think...
didn't receive the King Up, so...
Yeah, I think it's probably the right decision because you can leak pretty hard versus, say, a Dragon Turtle here.
I think it's totally right decision to do.
Yeah.
Let's see if Seraphin decides to send. I don't think so.
No, he saves, okay. Well, I think he can definitely get some damage done with like a Brute on Wave 3. If that's what he decides.
Cent, he might be getting an 80 cent even.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Mythium, right?
The Green Devil is going to really slow clear, so he's going to have a lot of time to make his send. Oh no, Aviator pushed 5 workers now. Okay. So
okay, interesting.
Likely to be.
I mean, he's definitely in danger against this Brute then.
Yep. Let's see if he can get a snail into this too. Maybe not. Slightly off, but like 2-3 seconds. Yeah, he's not gonna get it.
And SSP gets the Lizard out, so what is Ashton's answer for Wave 3? He doesn't have anything great. The best he can do is some buzzes here. Or a Warg, I guess, but both of those options are pretty weak. Yeah, he's gone for the Warg. Now, Seraphin is solid here. SSP's very strong, but I do expect to see some pretty decent leaks coming out on this side.
Let's see. Let's watch them. This is the lanes that we used to... I'm pretty sure SSP and Sarah just cleared, no problem. So
oh yeah, for sure.
The East team. Oh, Gate Guard getting focused by the Brute.
Yeah,
that's not very good.
That's bad. He doesn't get the second dog out.
Oh,
this is going to be a massive leak on Aviator. The decision to greed that 5th worker really biting him here. And Ashton as well. This is going to be some serious king damage here.
Yep. And both still push 6 workers. I mean, no surprise I would still push 6 workers myself. But I'm curious if Ashton is going to decide for 7 workers. Fight the leak. This is what I'm really curious about right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, dude.
I'm expecting Ashton to send. Yes, Ashton and Aviator sending.
Aviator's 5th worker there, costing him quite a lot, because you got to think if he stayed 4, he either full holds or at least leaks very, very small. Like an extra 2 stacks on that Neko is a lot of extra tank and damage on Wave 3.
Yep, totally agreed. I'm actually surprised he didn't stay 4 workers. Like, the 5th worker was delayed anyway, like he didn't push it before Wave 2.
Yeah.
So he could have stayed 4 worker and played it safe, I think.
This resend is pretty good for him, though. He does have the 5th stack on the Neko, which is the magic number that you need for wave 4, right? Because it lets you 2-shot the chickens. Right. So he should clear, or at least leak very small here to this.
Gate guard is dying again really quick. I think it's too close to the gate guard.
Yeah, I normally like to leave 1 square space between my gate guard and my first tank for the early waves to stop exactly this from happening. And now it goes on the snail as well.
I mean, it's a tiny leak, and it's not too bad for them.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And he does push the 7th worker. So we see 7 workers on everybody now. And SSP, though, with some Mythium saved up in the bank.
Is SSP gonna save for 6, or is he gonna go here?
I think he goes here.
I would like to see him. Oh, never mind.
I don't love the dragon turtles, though. I think you just go Dino Snail as normal, right? Ashton would leak pretty decently against Dino Snail, I'm pretty sure. The turtles might still be okay, because obviously they're going to do some magic against the Butcher, the Warg, and the Buzz. Everybody else holding on to their Mythium for now.
Okay, let's watch Ashton's lane. How is his Nightmare focus gonna go? Is his Nightmare gonna tank a little bit?
It needs to tank a little bit, otherwise he's in trouble. It is tanking. It doesn't look like it's too much. So I think that's really good aggro for him, actually.
Yeah, like all the units taking damage at the same time.
Yeah, that's just perfect. I think that's a bit of luck for him. It might be caused by the 3 tanks instead of 2. Like, I think if it's just Dino Snail there instead of double Turtle Snail, maybe things go differently.
Oh, this send is gonna enable Ashton so well.
Yeah.
9 workers on him already. Is he gonna push 10? Nah, he can't do it.
The Ashton I know pushed his 10 here.
Let's see.
He doesn't. What a pussy, dude. Only 9.
I would probably do it in ranked. Also, I would do 10 workers, but
in tournament play, you want to be a bit more careful, right?
Right, I think so too. It's a reasonable play, I would say.
Yeah.
And he's getting, he's so close to getting another 40 into the send, into the Dino. This could do a lot of damage, but he's 1 second off from getting the 40 in.
So Seraphin should be fine here with his Violet. SSP, I'm not so sure, because Green Devils, they really suck on wave 6.
I think the consorts are still pretty strong on wave 6.
They are pretty good on wave 6. The consort Death Rattle does like 50% of the Rocco's health, but it's a hold, it's not even close.
Yep. No danger whatsoever for the West team. Now West team catches it back up on workers, both on 9, catching up to Ashton.
Yeah, this game's staying really close. After that big wave 3, you'd expect to see the French team pulling ahead, maybe a little bit more than they have.
SSP greeting 10 workers, I like to see it.
Oh, I love this.
His value is good, his value is good. Oh, beautiful. But he's not getting a cent here, so I guess they go straight... What is the plan from the West team now? Because they have the Mythium advantage, right? So they are in the driving seat in theory.
I've got to think that they were planning a wave 8 send, because it's a pretty good, like pack leader on 8 against the Nightmare Butcher and something against the Harbinger for Aviator. But now that he's just shown the bunk, it makes their wave 8 plan a lot harder. So let's see what they do. They might just go for Incoming King.
Could be, yeah. I think it would be reasonable against Aviator. And against Mr. Ashton, a pack leader could do a lot of damage, I think. Yes, 2 pack leaders coming on from the West team.
Yeah, that's
and
still...
East team goes for income.
So how is Ashton and Aviator going to build up for this? I
don't like this Harbinger.
Harbinger for 8. I mean, the good thing is it does a lot of damage against the pack leader. A lot of damage, but he's changing his mind.
But you still have to kill the wave somehow. I mean, Komata is missing 1 stack. He's on 6 stacks on Aviator. Yep. Meanwhile, Ashton decides for Alpha Male, which is a pretty decent choice, I think.
It's tanky, but it doesn't deal that much damage.
Okay, Ashton is focusing down the pack leader. Pretty much the same for for Aviator.
Yeah, I think that's a leak for Ashton. Aviator's doing okay. He gets the second dog out. He's clearing. I think he just leaks like 4 creeps.
Then this Harbinger might
Even
have
less.
a really good pick.
50% on Ashton though, that's a pretty decent leak.
And he was higher value. He was 960 value.
Yep. Harbinger's just such a good unit, dude. Even on wave 8, you see it clearing here, leaking 2 creeps, very low HP.
I mean, it's kind of lucky that he got a pack a year, because if he got another send, I mean, what could they send even? I don't know.
So it's a 180 send. There's not much worse you can send than a pack leader, to be honest. As in, not much stronger.
I mean, a Hermit maybe, and a couple, I don't know, Hermit with a Cannoneer would be worse, potentially.
Maybe. Cannoneer to kill that bunk as soon as possible, stop it dealing damage to the wave.
Also good against all the units he has. He has a Harbinger, the Cat, right? So, and the Hermit to deny the bunk passive.
Both teams now identical on workers as well.
But higher income on the East team.
Yeah, true. I think that's because they've been income sending while the French team have been sending to kill, right?
Right. That's why we see the health difference, right, on the King.
Yeah.
But at the same time, East team is likely to scale harder into the late game. Let's see if they can survive the early, pressure from the Frenchies.
And Ashton shifted some gold here. I think he's going for the doppelganger on 10.
But I don't think we're gonna see sense of because of the venture. Yep. Oh no,
well, all players are sending. So okay. Ashton's going to get the doppel here. He does. So he's very safe. Look at this for Aviator. Haven, you don't often see that on 10. It's actually not that great, though, I don't think. I think he's going to be fine because his value is super high. But the Haven, it does die pretty quickly against the boss.
Let's look at the West team build, because we focus mostly on the East team for now, I think.
Yep.
I don't really like SSP's build. It's just spam of tier 1s and tier 2s, like the Gargoyles, the Concerts.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a direction towards like late game, mid game, late game.
You're right, but Consort is a very solid unit in the early game. And it's still great here on like 10, 11, 12. It doesn't really fall off until 13, and then obviously past that point it's not so great anymore. But it's a really strong unit in the early game.
I agree, but like he invested a lot into early game units, and like his push is not, he's not out pushing Ashton, who's more towards late game, I would say even.
Yeah. And there is a leak here for Aviator and SSP and Seraphin, it looks like. So they're going to even up the king damage now with these 2 bosses leaking straight to the king.
Right. And
Ashton's going to hold that for his teammate over there, so let's go and see how much damage the French team take now.
Yep, I think you're correct on the call that it's even out.
Maybe even slightly more.
Yep, tiny bit more.
Yeah, bringing them down to 57%. And you're completely right, by the way. Like SSP, he's gone for a very early game focused build with all of those consorts, the Nightmare. He has no top end. His most expensive unit is the Nightmare. Now, obviously, he's got that Chieftain Green Devil combo, which is pretty strong, although it was just nerfed in the latest patch, so it's not as strong as it used to be. And he doesn't have any big aura to go with it, right? Like he needs a White Mane or an Ocean Templar or something like that to really make the most out of that combo.
I love Greed on Ashton on Aviator. Look at their values, and they went Venture.
Yeah,
plus Aviator is really solid on 12 right now. If the sensor not too good.
Ashton could leak here to a resend, but there isn't one coming.
At this point, I'm favoring heavily the East. It's the worker advantage. Look at the workers.
The worker advantage is huge, and SSP and Seraphin, they were keeping up really well for the first 10 waves, and then everything just kind of fell off after that wave 10 send from both teams. Ashton now on 17, Aviator on 15. It's a pretty huge advantage.
Correct. And yeah, I think the Yeah, they're sending for income. His team is going for income here, which I think is a good choice.
Yep. Seraphin even's going to leak to the no send here on 11. I think he might be in trouble on 12, dude.
Let me check quickly Seraphin's build. Yeah, like he only has the death cap potential, which could be good on 12, but everything else is kind of dead value.
Death cap's not bad, but one, he has a split, and two, Ashton can send him like 300 plus Mythium if he wants to.
I think they should go for it, yeah. Their base team is going for just full income here, which is the correct choice in my opinion.
Yeah, so SSP and Seraphin going for the power sends again, so more strength but less income, and Ashton and Aviator just sticking with their plan to scale and snowball, sending the drakes, the snails. Let's see if they full send, because they will have another sort of 100 Mythium to send after income as well if they want to.
I'm really interested if the East team is going to go for the king gaps or are they saving the rest. I'm really interested in that. Because West team is surely sending for kills, so they're sending for like 100%.
Yep. Ashton on fire, so if they do manage to leak him, it's pretty good. But his build is so strong here. The lifesteal, Doppel, the Lioness with 2 alphas. He's got a really good Wave 12 build.
But the 4-eye still hurts against all the natural armor on Ashton. He still seems to be doing fine though.
Yeah, he's fine there. That Doppel's still on full HP. It's gonna easily clear. Meanwhile, Seraphin, not so easy. 120% leak, and SSP's gonna leak the Drake as well. So that's just the difference there, with a Doppelganger that has lifesteal on Ashton's lane, easily holding, against a stronger send, and a Doppelganger without lifesteal on SSP's lane, not managing to hold the income send.
SSP and Sarah leaking to pretty much income send, while Ashton and Aviator holding the kill send.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference in like early build, SSP, building the early game units, versus Ashton and Aviator investing into, like the big units that carry you for the mid game and late game.
Yeah, for sure. And just look at those workers, dude. Ashton, 26 workers. 27, he's still pushing. 28.
29.
Whoa. 20, 30. He's just testing how much the casters can count.
He's close to exceeding my counting capabilities here.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to take my socks off and start counting on my toes. Aviator going for a living egg here. I think that's a pretty solid play with his value. And Ashton just going for the full greed.
The egg on Aviator?
Yep. This game is falling out of control for SSP and Seraphin really quickly. Like, Ashton has double the workers of Seraphin. That's not the kind of advantage you can come back from very easily.
And Aviator has more workers than Sarah, and it still has the egg, right? The investment. Yep. So, yeah, I think it's pretty one-sided at this point.
This game feels over. Ashton even going for a proper send here now with Pack Leader Mimic and a Centaur from Aviator.
I think this is over here, honestly.
I think this is over here as well. SSP and Seraphin, they don't have the value. Seraphin, it looks like they've called away 15 cents, so he's building for 14. The Hades on 14, I think he's going to really regret that in about 20 seconds' time.
Lost Chieftain on SSP, so yeah, I think this game finishes here. The sends are just big enough to finish them off.
Yeah.
And the Centaur is pretty good send. He's sending it into a split, so maybe Lost Chieftains don't focus it down.
And it will stop those consorts from dealing any damage to the wave. Yeah.
Yep. Lost Chieftain is not focusing the Centaur. So the Centaur is just cleaving everything in the split, and you can really see it disappearing.
And tanking all of its damage as well. So the split has done 0 damage to the wave. That's a really good send from Aviator. And Seraphin, he's also collapsing under the weight of Ashton's send. 460 there from Ashton after he pushed his 30 workers on 13. This game's over. Well played, 50% all in.
Beautiful gameplay. Really beautiful.
Yep. Just clean. Seraphin blaming the leak on 11 for the game. I think they were already pretty far behind before that happened, to be honest.
I think so too. Especially that they were so invested into early game builds and like early game units, while Ashton and Aviator were kind of building for late game, like shifting for the bunk on Aviator.
Yeah.
On wave 7 to get it on. Oh no, he got it on 7. Yeah.
Yeah, so Aviator went into... He didn't shift, he had a Growl. So he places the Growl on 6, turns it into a bunk on 7. Really solid play.
Right. I didn't see the growls. You're right, correct.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be too ballsy for a shift with like a Neko and a non-upgraded Gate Guard. To shift gold there would be super ballsy on wave 6. But he had the Growl, which makes it safe. He gets the bunk on 7. And he's just set up then. Like, even with the 180 send on wave 8, he barely leaks. He leaks like one Cobra on 0 HP and another one like around 50%. So they don't take too much king damage from that. In fact, even with Ashton's 50%, they only end up taking 11% king damage there. And then the counterattack on 10, where SSP and Seraphin both leak bosses at fairly decent HP levels, brings their king down to 57%. So already
I'm really
there.
impressed by Aviator. Like, he built the Harbinger on 8. You know, you
Yeah,
always
yeah.
send against the Harbinger on 8. He receives a send there, but since he's a pack leader, he's managing to kill it like really quick and clear up the wave really nicely. So I'm really impressed by the Aviator's decision making there. Like I was
Absolutely,
saying,
yeah.
like I don't like when he plays it. I was saying I don't like the Harbinger here. It's a weak unit on this wave, and he's getting a big send. But in the end, it worked out for them. So I mean, big congrats to him for the decision making and
Yeah.
really impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
New game is up, by the way, in case.
Oh, well, let's just hop into it then. That wave 12, it was just crushing for Seraphin. I'm just going to have a look at these last couple of waves before I join the lobby. So yeah, he leaks the 3 creeps on 11, and that does hurt him. But the 120% leak against an income send on 12, it just seals the game. There's no coming back after that. Not with the worker lead on Ashton, having 30 workers on wave 13. Really, really solid play from Ashton and Aviator there.
Yep, agreed. Totally agreed.
Okay, I'll come and find the lobby. So let's see, can SSP and Seraphin bring it back for a 1-1 now? That was your prediction at the start of the series. Do you still think it's going to happen after seeing that first game? Because it looked like they were pretty much outplayed, I'm going to say.
Yes, I agree. I mean, this is why I said that they're a little bit favored, Ashton and Aviator. But if SSP and Sarah can punish early greed from Ashton and Aviator in the early game, maybe they can get the 1-1.
Well, they had a really good start as well, right? Because they got those big leaks out on wave 3, did a ton of king damage, got a ton of gold, and it just didn't seem to matter because Ashton and Aviator, they didn't kind of play scared. They still pushed hard, even
like
after taking so much damage. They just pushed even harder and managed to keep it neck and neck to wave 10, and after there, just start snowballing to like a huge advantage late game.
I feel like SSP should have greeded more. He invested so much into the early game units
Yeah.
and didn't take advantage of the gold he got from the wave 3.
Yeah,
If he managed to snowball a little bit harder there, I think he could have carried. But yeah, I mean, game turned out different in the end.
Yeah. And we've got another set of Legion spells here with no massively like offensive spell. Obviously, Embargo is pretty good, but it's not the same as like an all-out assault on 11, right? Villain is a great spell. It's really good on high single target DPS users, like the Kingpin, for example. And Creditor, obviously, just a very, very strong economic scaling spell.
I love to see Aviator play Bounty Hunter. I started to play it recently myself, and I think I'm starting to appreciate the unit. It's really good.
Apologies, I was invaded by a child.
No worries. Looks like SSP is going for Lord of Death, I would say. He's building the Graal. He pushed 4 workers.
Yeah.
Only Seraphin not doing the King Up. Just like in the first game. Everyone doing King Ups apart from Seraphin.
This is how SSP and Seraphin like to play. SSP wants to try and greed a bit more and scale a bit more, and Seraphin wants to try and starve his opponent out to try and enable SSP as much as possible. I think they do this in most of their games. If we take a look at the builds, Ashton 5-worker Oathbreaker, very solid. Aviator playing Anglers, doesn't quite have the same early game push potential. SSP's going for a 5-worker LOD opener, which I like. I think that's a pretty solid start. It will make him vulnerable on, say, wave 10. And Seraphin going with the 5-worker Crusher, which is always solid.
Seraphin doesn't have much to cover on 10 though. Only the Coiler, like looking at his build.
Yeah,
so
true.
They are kind of looking vulnerable 10. Meanwhile, on the West team...
Oh, this Dragon Turtle here for Ashton. He holds this. He's going to at least push up to 6 workers, I say. Yeah.
Does he though? Yeah, he does.
He does. It's Ashton, man. Come on. Do you need to ask?
I mean, I was expecting maybe like a small leak or something, like 20%, 30%. His All Breaker died a little bit early. I didn't do this play myself, like with the ward.
It looks like he's... Does he like leak 1 creep? If he does, that's so good for him. But no, he's gonna hold.
Yep. Now income sense from the West team.
If he did leak there, that would have been amazing for him, because he'd be able to send like an 80 out to SSP.
Wait, SSP is going for Violet instead of Lord of Death.
I don't get that play. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Like, the Violet's okay. I think the LOD may be better. Hard to say.
So. Maybe he doesn't want to be so vulnerable on 10. I don't know. Or maybe he just doesn't feel comfortable with LOD playstyle.
Yeah.
Also, there's nerf after last patch, so...
This Dragon Turtle resend as well is just more fuel for Ashton's fire. He's just got such good positioning. Look at this aggro split here. I mean, that fist dies, he loses a lot of his damage. Maybe it's a leak, but is he pushing to 7?
He doesn't have the gold. He's missing 1 gold. Unlucky for him.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure
he misses 1. Yeah, he would have gone 7 there. So maybe killing 1 more Hopper he'd have been happy with, but he leaked just the wrong amount there. And this is stacks though for Aviator. So this is Ashton's version of team play, leaking so that his Kingpin can get more stacks.
Right, all planned. Like, it was all designed by them. Ashton actually not pushing to 7. He's probably gonna shift for Alpha Male. That's my prediction.
No, he adds a second walk. Okay.
But he can still afford a Alpha Male if he sends... Well, no, he's spending...
No. It's too much.
I was thinking that maybe he doesn't build this Chain Fist and maybe sells one of the tier 1 for Alpha Male on 5.
And Seraphin is shifting his 50 gold here, so he's trying to get the Coiler on 5, I would guess. And SSP, he can go 8 workers from this Dragon Turtle resend. So, easy hold for Aviator. He was pretty high value. He only had 5 workers up until this send. I wonder why SSP sent the Fiend there. Like, I guess he just wanted income. He knows it's not going to leak him.
SSP on 8 workers, so...
Yeah. And the Brute resend. Let's see what Aviator does here. He's going for cat stacks, which is not the best on wave 5. Is he shifting that gold?
No, I don't think he's gonna. Or is he? What would he get? Yozora on 6? I guess he wants Yozora on 6.
Shifting
right?
for Yozora, yeah, probably the right play. Maybe an Antler. This 80 resend, though, might catch him off guard.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, let's watch Aviator's lane. I don't expect to see any other leaks. Or maybe Seraphin. He went for a Zeus here instead of a Coiler.
Instead of the Coiler, yeah. A little bit surprising, but I think he's still fine.
He's probably fine. He's got really high value. Let's check out Aviator.
Not looking too hot.
I think he leaks, but it's really not that bad. Like, really not that bad.
Yep.
It's going to be
It's
a brute and a couple of scorpions. One scorpion.
Yeah, actually, that's totally fine for him, I think.
Yeah, he's happy with that.
He pushed an extra worker, so he's not gonna be able to afford the Antler or Yazora.
Yeah.
Whatever he's intending to do. But he can still afford a Butcher, I think. Yeah, he's gonna afford the Butcher.
He's just giving those stacks right back to Ashton that he took from him on wave 3. So very good team play there from 50% all in.
West going for the income send here.
Yeah. I mean, Ashton has sent a Dragon Turtle every wave so far from wave 3, 4, 5 and now 6. He just wants to snowball.
Wait, Ashton is getting saved on.
He is getting saved on, so Seraphin's putting on the pressure. But
What's the
Ashton's just doing the income every single wave so that he doesn't fall behind even while being saved on.
Right, I think he's gonna hold Seraphin's send because of his super high value, and then he's gonna snowball out of control.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how it works out.
I mean, he has 690 value already here on wave 6. Like, how does Seraphin hope to leak him? Like, what do you even send? He's looking pretty weak on wave 7. He won't be able to get the bunk out. Some high damage mercenary might be good there. Pack leader might be good there. Let's see what Seraphin decides to do. It's another Dragon Turtle, dude. Here's the pack leader from Seraphin, yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be pack leader plus. Does he get a 60? No, he doesn't get a 60. You would need to push another worker to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
It will be 59 Mithium. Kind of unlucky.
I think it would be worth it for him to push the worker there. Like, do you really want that extra Aqua Spirit?
I would push the worker probably. Actually, look at his value though. He's really not a high value, 635.
Yeah, his value kind of sucks. No, he's going to get it. He gets it anyway.
Okay.
He gets it anyway. And SSP sends a couple of brutes against Aviator, who doesn't have the 7 stacked cat here.
It's actually looking a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a big sand on Ashton, but I mean his value is kind of high, so...
His value is crazy high. He has like wave 8 value already. 880 here. But his units are not that great, like really not that great here. His masks are all dead now, so that's a lot of his damage gone. Here goes the Pilgrim. It looks like a pretty decent leak from Ashton.
Yep.
Cat is dead from Aviator. He's also on 815 value, by the way, but he is going to hold on Aviator, so he'll at least be able to cover some in the mid, I guess. And Seraphin does leak 48% to that Fiend, so maybe it's a good thing he built the Aqua and not a worker here.
I mean, he did push a worker regardless, right? Because he was 9 workers. And but yeah, I mean, it was pushing 11, it would be crazy with his value.
So Aviator, sorry, gets one more stack in the mid, and they're going to take not that much king damage, honestly, maybe 10%.
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
Pack leader deals a lot of damage at this point in the game.
Oh, sure, yeah. 80%, okay. And I think they're fine with that, although Ashton, he's definitely not happy being on 8 workers.
He's gonna push 10 now, but SSP is still in the lead.
SSP...
Ashton sending every wave pretty much still.
Yeah. So Ashton with his Dragon Turtle every wave so far has really let SSP snowball. And of course Seraphin just trying his best to starve Ashton and enable SSP as much as possible. But SSP, he definitely has to carry now. He has to do his part.
I'm surprised that Ashton doesn't sell one of the Chain Fists to get another worker in. I was kind of expecting him to. I would do it at least myself.
Well, he even adds some more masks instead. So he correctly called the resend here. And that probably helps him out quite a bit. I don't know if he might leak anyway.
Let's see. Like, I would push a worker myself, but I mean, maybe I would leak like 80% here because of it.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding. So good idea there, Ashton, for not pushing the worker. And SSP 33% to that dino. But Ashton loved that resend. He's doubled his workers between wave 7 and wave 8.
Yep, love to see it. SSP is saving Mithium now. So Aviator might be in a bit of trouble.
He's going here on wave 9. you've got to think that Aviator, yeah, he gets the Kingpin, so he's just fine here. Like, he gets the triple brute. Is there another one coming? No, right?
Is he fine?
There is. He can get 4 brutes.
Right. Is he fine though?
I think he's fine. He's got a pretty highly stacked Kingpin with lifesteal.
I mean, everything else dies pretty quick, like to the brutes and the wave. And if the brutes get on the KP in the end, it might hurt.
It could stop him from doing damage, right?
Oh, is Seraphin receiving pretty big stun too, Mimic?
Yeah.
So too late to watch for now. With that Mimic farming some gold.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's going to be a decent leak on Seraphin, because that Coiler, which is a lot of his damage, is going to take focus as soon as his frontline dies. So with that gone, he's not really going to kill anything else. In fact, he's just going to leak everything that's still alive there. Let's check Aviator. It looks like Aviator will leak, but he's doing pretty well, honestly. Yep. Yeah, 63%, but I think he's okay with that. He pushes to 14, and meanwhile Seraphin, he's stuck on 11.
Yep, Seraphin a little bit out of the game because of the starves he did, I think, on Ashton.
Yeah, and Ashton just completely unaffected. 15 workers now tied with SSP.
Is he gonna full hold in the middle? No, probably not. The masks don't do enough damage to the creeps.
No, masks are just useless on wave 9, right?
Right. I learned it the hard way, unfortunately.
But very low damage, though. Very, very low damage to the king.
Ashton going for another income.
Yep.
I'm curious if there was a single wave where Ashton skipped this game.
I don't think so, right? I think he had sent every single wave. Maybe wave 2. He might have skipped 2.
He's enabling SSP the creditor. I mean, you can still creditor, right? Because...
yeah. He is enabling the creditor, but he'll probably take it himself. And these king ups from Seraphin and SSP means that they'll definitely both take it.
Right.
I guess the king ups mean that they want to go for a save into 13 now on the side of Seraphin and SSP. I don't really see any other reason why you would do that.
Yeah, you don't really want to send it to KP on 12, right? With Butcher Aura and
yeah.
With a bunch of alpha males, lionesses, mask. Like 13 looks like a common weak wave, I would say.
Yep.
At the moment, at least.
But SSP even leaking now to this income send. He looked fairly strong on wave 10, honestly, with those Leviathans and his consorts.
I suspect I'm 13 from SSP Sarah, but let's see.
And Ashton just really sticking to his income plan here. He's basically playing classic at this point.
Right. And he's going for creditor, expected. Same for Aviator. Meanwhile, SSP and Sarah are going for embargo.
Embargo. So they will have a lot of Mythium to send on wave 13. They should hold these sends easily. Seraphin even going into Pyros now, so he's pretty solid here. SSP with the double Leviathan and the Violets, I think he's pretty strong as well. The good thing with Ashton and Aviator's roles, though, means they can pretty comfortably greed their creditor on both 11 and 12 and just be confident with that. And then if they need to, they'll have all that extra gold to build up on wave 13 when the embargo send comes.
I'm really curious how they do on 13. It's going to be exciting to see. Do they do king ups, Ashton Aviator on 12, or do they just save the Mythium and send against them on 13?
No, they're not scared on 12. Their rolls are so good on wave 12. Like, you've got the lifesteal kingpins of Aviator, you've got the lioness alpha males of Ashton. Like, both of their rolls are perfect for wave 12. They know it's coming on 13. I expect them to full greed creditor on 12. It's just a question of whether or not they fully build on 13 to hold that send. And if they do, their values are going to be insane. Like, you're going to be talking 2.5k value to hold the wave 13 sends.
Yeah, Ashton totally predicting that he's getting Tantrum Mask on 13.
Yeah.
Which is not anything, but still, I mean, it's Tantrum Mask, right? So...
Yeah. And not even just greeting the creditor gold, he's... Okay, he is adding a couple more masks here. So taking it down to 189, 190 on Aviator. Aviator on fire, by the way.
I mean, it's because of the KPs, right? He has 2 KPs, which add a lot of artificial value to your build.
True. Okay, so what are the sends going to be? It's going to be 500 plus from SSP and 400 plus from Seraphin. Let's see if the value and just how much gold they have for Ashton and Aviator lets them hold this send now.
Double
four eyes.
Ashton going for full income, same for Aviator.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, full income is correct call here, instead of going for the league.
Are they going to full build, or do they dare the creditor one more time?
I think they're going to full build. I really don't think they are able to greed this much.
Ashton has 140 gold. That's looking tempting for him. Does he go for like another mask or a pilgrim, or does he just hold on to that?
Aviator has the Arcter plus the head chef, so
yeah,
he's Kingpin's pretty well. They still do decent damage. It's a high damage unit, so
Aviator 2.8k value, and both of them greed some gold. So 90 on Aviator, 140 on Ashton. They're not scared. They don't go for the full build. Let's see if this send is enough to make them regret that.
They saved some Mithium, so they didn't even do like attacking ups.
Yeah,
they just incomed and confident that they can hold. Let's see.
It's just income and chill. I mean, Aviator, he's looking really solid. He might leak the 2 4 eyes, but not more than that. And Ashton, meanwhile, he's full holding, dude.
Yep. Love to see it. Beautiful play.
Or leaking a very low HP 4 eyes.
I think he's killing it.
He is killing it, right?
HP drop.
The red mask still alive?
Yep, full clear.
So there's a shutdown there, a 25 gold shutdown on Aviator, but that's really not worth it.
Well, looks like West is in the driving seat again. If the big leaks came here, like, I would favor the East, but it was a really nice hold.
Yeah, the leak needed to be a lot more than this for it to be worth that save. And again, Ashton now 25 workers. Although Seraphin is keeping pace this time with Aviator. He stays on 21, Aviator only on 22. So there is still an advantage for Ashton and Aviator, but it's not as big as it was in the last game. Both on fire now, though.
Sarah's a little bit out of the game, it looks like. Because of the early starts, I think, which kind of enabled SSP to push because he was getting fed. Ashton was low worker. But yeah, it looks like SSP didn't scale enough.
I guess it's going to be a wave 15 send, maybe? Ashton and Aviator, they just cover each other's waves so well. Like, the Chieftains are just amazing DPS on 15. The big Kingpins are really good on 17.
3 Tantrum Mask as well on 15.
Yeah.
So I think it's a 15%. He built them now, I'm pretty sure. And yep, I would say they're expecting a 15 cent and they're gonna send it themselves. The Mithium counts are pretty high. Yep,
they do send. Okay. This is Aviator's first non-income send all game. It's a Siege Ram. Let's see if he makes Seraphin pay with that. I think the Siege Ram is really going to hurt him because he's got these pyros, and if the Ram can keep that magic damage off the wave, he's going to leak super, super hard.
Yep. SSP going for Hades, and he's receiving a full income. So I think SSP can hold, but
Seraphin... He can hold or leak small, right? Like, SSP's got a pretty good build here, but his front line is weak. And Aviator, I mean, he just has 3.5k value, so...
Even though he has no magic damage, he should be fine.
Yeah. And Ashton with the triple Gaia shield on an Arcter is just so much extra HP, right? Like, the Gaia shield giving you 1500 plus 25% because of the Arcter's dodge. It's just a crazy high value tank that he's got there, while the Chieftains do insane magic DPS.
I'm surprised Sarah went for the kill instead of, sending income. Like, seeing so many lost Chieftains, 3 Tantrum Masks.
Yeah. And
although
Seraphin, 92% here, by the way. So that's probably even worse than we expected. And
Yep, it's really full wave.
will SSP leak as well? I guess he will, right? He can't kill those creeps.
Yep, to an income cent even.
So there is another shutdown here on Aviator. It's only 25 gold. There'll be another one on Ashton. So that's something. But these guys are about to take a ton of damage here from this league.
Yep. I mean, this game is already looking a little bit over, I would say. SSP, I mean, Seraphin, 2 out of the game.
Well, SSP does still have the highest income in the game so far.
Yeah, true. Maybe SSP is still in position to do something about it, but...
It might be a case of SSP and Seraphin try to keep up as best they can, and then probably Seraphin has to go for a full push and sell at some point to break Ashton. I just don't know when that is, because Ashton looks really strong on every wave apart from... I don't even know, like 17, he's not great, but he will have 5 Tantrum Masks, and these units are still good there. And meanwhile, Aviator's really good on 17. So when's their opportunity? Like, I don't know, dude. It's looking rough.
It's looking really rough. It looks like East team is building against 17. SSP got a Doomsday this wave.
Yep.
Seraphin added King Claw over here, so it looks like they're kind of preparing against 17. And SSP is hard overbuilding. Look at the SSP's value.
And they are sending here on 17, but with Ashton's 5 Tantrum Masks, with his Lionesses and his Alpha Males, he's honestly not that bad. And 17 is Aviator's best wave.
Correct. Yep, they're setting for the kill too. Now West team going for the kill instead of income, like Ashton did in the previous round.
Now, SSP will have huge value here.
Oh, SSP suiciding? I mean, Seraphin is suiciding?
He is, he's selling.
He sold half of his units. He's full pushing.
I mean...
SSP going for King Claw to add the tank value for the Doomsday to do the job.
They had to do it. Like, it is the right play.
It's the end of the game for sure. It's a question, will it be enough? I
just don't think Aviator leaks here. He's so strong. He's got 2 white mains. He's got Kingpins with lifesteal. Ashton just pulls the Haven out of the bag as well with that reroll.
Yep. It's just over.
The Haven with the Gaia shields. Yeah, this is game over. They won't leak them here. It's certainly not enough.
They're hoping for a race, yeah, but I don't see them leaking, honestly.
Yeah.
Or maybe tiny leaks.
And SSP, does he hold even? It looks like SSP won't even hold himself. Never mind Seraphin. Ashton, I mean, he's barely even leaking. And Aviator just holds. So this game, it just really got out of control for them.
Yep, Seraphin was just 2 out of the game, I think, after the early starves. And...
I think it was a good plan. I think, like, you need to try and do something to stop Ashton from snowballing out of control. And it did enable SSP to, like, push workers in the early game. But it just wasn't enough. Like, Ashton is just so smart at the game that he's able to, like, weather the starve and just come out of it even matching workers with SSP, who was, like, carrying that game for the French team, right?
Right. I'm looking at... okay, so Ashton only skipped income on 2. I mean, but it would be a king up.
And then he sent a Dragon Turtle every single wave up until 8, 11. Where he breaks it with a Dino.
Right, but like until 11, it was income cents all the time.
Yeah.
Then 1 wave skip, 13 income cent.
Yeah, he just massively snowballed this game. And we can't underplay Aviator as well, because he had such a strong build for the late game with those Kingpin, White Mains, etc. Like, there just wasn't a really promising wave to send on them both. Like, I don't know, dude. It's a rough one.
It was a rough one.
By the way, that bunk wasn't even Ashton's reroll. He had that from the start. He just didn't play it until then on wave 17, where it was the most clutch unit he could possibly have. Right. But even without it, though, because Aviator full holds, there's no chance for Maginot Lines to win here. So I
mean,
think
there
they
was no-
did the right play with the suicide. It's just that Ashton and Aviator were already too strong at that point.
There was no reason for him to place the bank any early on, because on 7, like, he couldn't afford it, and then after 7 there was no really need for it. They knew 13 cent is coming, so on 12 he didn't need to get it.
Yep.
There for 13, and yep, clutch pull out on 17.
Yeah, really, really well played from Ashton and Aviator there.
I want to note that Ashton skipped 4 waves out of 17. Every other wave, that includes wave 2. If you don't include wave 2, because I mean it's just a king up, right? But like,
Yeah.
then it's only 4 waves skipped the whole game out of 17. So
That's insane.
yeah, it's a very income heavy player, I would say, but it's really impressive the way he does it, and he makes it work.
Yeah, SSP and Seraphin, they played well. Like, Seraphin's plan to kind of starve and let SSP carry, normally that would work, but just not this time round. Like, Ashton was able to... You see it there, even after being starved, he still tied 15 workers on wave 10 with SSP. You don't often see that after someone like starved you so hard in the early game.
And he leaks 80% on 7, right? So...
Yeah,
really.
80% even while being on 880 value there. So from 6 workers on 7 to 15 workers on 10, that's a pretty impressive transition there.
On net worth, he was actually ahead of SSP on wave 9 and wave 10 already. Like, he overtook him on 9.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it's just because of his income. He was able to income send every wave and still kind of stay neck and neck with SSP.
I'm not gonna lie, Ashton and Aviator look really scary. I'm playing them in the last round of the group stage. And
well, good luck, dude.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. These guys are insane players.
But these guys are definitely a team to watch. Definitely a team to watch. Well played to both teams. It was a really interesting couple of games. And I think both times around the games were really close for the first 10 waves. And then the kind of late game snowball from Ashton and Aviator was just too much. So very well played to everyone. And a nice series, actually. And thank you, Yogg, for joining me on the cast. I really appreciate it. It's a lot easier to cast when you've got someone there to help out, so you're not constantly having to talk rubbish, only 50% of the time.
Thank you for guiding me through that cast, and making it seem so smooth. Like, you brought up so many interesting points, could comment on it. I don't know. But without you, I would feel so lost doing my first cast alone, or, experience, and you made it even,
Oh, well, it was my pleasure, dude. It was my pleasure. Anyway.
Hope to do some forecasts with you next time. If you ever need someone, just give me a poke. I'm always happy.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. So thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out. It's been a really great stream today. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And we will see you next time for another LIHL Grandmasters game.